the Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast for this week's American Express out on the West Coast in the Napa Valley fields. As always, the show is brought to you by Underdog. Go check them out. Use code MAN for up to $1,000 deposit bonus. And as always, the show is always brought to you by my good co-host, Kenny. What's up?
What's up, man? Pretty exciting last couple of days. What an event, man. I mean, it's a sort of a shame. I feel like they should. I know they can't because they got to do Hawaii back-to-back in the beginning of the year. But I just wish it wasn't in the middle of the playoffs because, like, every year, this tournament just delivers, right? Like, playoffs in 4 of the last 6. We had the 5-man playoff last year. This year, it was just, I mean, JJ and them going crazy out. JJ and Jaeger playing like fucking Ben Crenshaw and Seve Ballesteros out there for the first 16 holes on Sunday, pissing me off because, of course, I had the Nick Taylor outright, and I added Nico live, I think 33-1 halfway through his round on Saturday. And so a good week for me, of course, with the Nick Taylor.
Oh, yes, dude.
Nick Taylor outright. Got the each way on Nick Taylor. Also got the each way on the Nico second place. So really stress-free. Playoff for me, which is, I don't think that's ever happened to me before, where I've had, maybe it's happened once before, where I've had both the golfers that are in the playoff. So it was very, very nice. It was a good week. DraftKings was okay. Like, my GPPs are good. Like, I broke even on my GPPs. Cash, of course, Ben On and Cam Davis missing the cut on the number. On was a little bit weird because he eagled 18 to get to that -2, and he wasn't going to make it. But Cam Davis out there shooting 4? Oh no, it was Eckroat. I'm sorry. Was it Eckroat? It was Eckroat. Eckroat out there shooting like 4 over. On his final back 9 to miss the cut by 1 definitely hurt, and it cost me my cash lineup. I was probably like 8 to 15 points out of the cash in my double ups, even with a 4 out of 6. But yeah, I mean, pretty exciting stuff. The drama, just watching. I think like Spawn and Jaeger might have hit like 8 fairways combined. Like,
that was all on the front 9. Yeah, it was not on the back 9.
Yeah, they were just scrambling for their dear lives, and they were
pulling it off.
Until we got to 17, and then I think that's when Jaeger hit that ball into the dude's pool. I mean, if he was allowed to go into the guy's residence and hit it out of the water in his pool, he probably would have saved Paul. Because he ended up, I think he ended up getting it up and down from his provisional for a bogey. I mean,
making another 50-footer.
He got it up and down from his provisional to make bogey, so he still had a chance. But then neither one of the guys could birdie 18, so it left that Nico and Nick Taylor playoff. I mean, the most unbelievable thing about Nick Taylor is, I mean, first golfer on tour to win 3 straight years, including this year. The only golfer on tour to win 3 consecutive years, including this season. He's the only golfer out there. His playoff record is 3-0. The guy has 5 wins. He's halfway to the Hall of Fame. Is it 10 wins? Is it a Hall of Fame, or is it 20?
Just his playoff record should be enough. Like, I mean, this guy, like, the moment Nico went, because I had Nico, and it just didn't. The moment I knew it was Nick Taylor who he was going up against, I was like,
well, I mean, the chip in on 18 was disgusting, right? I mean, who chips in for Eagle on 18 to get to the playoff? I mean, like, when does that ever happen?
God.
And I really do like that finishing hole, because there's so many different ways to go about it. And Jaeger fucked up. Like, why he hit the 3-wood there, which is the perfect distance for that bunker, right?
Yeah.
If he hits that same line, that draw that he hit on 18, if he hits that same line with a driver and it lands even in the rough in front of the bunker, 70% birdie chance for the week. 70% of golfers that hit it over that bunker, even on the rough, on the left side, had made birdie that week. So I just didn't understand, especially like I just didn't. I know that he was sort of feeling it from hitting, that crazy draw, that snap hook basically into the guy's backyard. But on the hole before. But man, I mean, when it comes down to it, you need a birdie, and you're bringing out the 3-wood
on that line. I wonder if he was trying to take it down the right side where the other guys hit it, because that.
I'm sure that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah,
but even if he missed this,
he knew his problem. Like, how do you not pull drive? And especially, like, do you see Charlie Hoffman, what he was doing on 18?
Yeah, he was hitting it left to the 10th fairway. Basically, Charlie was aiming for the 10th fairway, and it was a perfect shot into the green. I think he birdied it all 4 days.
3 or 4.
Yeah,
he birdied. Yeah, and the gap he has to hit through. I think Tom Hoagie took a photo of it.
Yeah, like 20 feet.
Like drew on there with these little sausage fingers where he had to like hit it through the trees. Incredible stuff. Tom Hoagie also becoming like gets out. He's the pace setter now, Kenny, of the PGA Tour. NASCAR Hoagie just out there rattling off great rounds in the beginning of tournaments and then just sucking them up. But it is what it is. I hit the farewell fiver in the third round with Kevin Roy. Kevin Roy on a Saturday, boys and girls, watch out for him. He was a very sneaky little play. So
that's back-to-back weeks hitting a farewell fiver, and the odds for those are what, at least 5, 6, 7, 8 to 1, right?
Yeah, it paid out. It's the 3-leggers that pay out a little less, but the 4-leggers are like 20 to 50 to 1, depending on how I go about them. So yeah, hitting the 3 of the 4 so far. I think I'm going to change it to just betting $5 on each person, and then 5 on the 4-legger, so that when it goes 2 and 2, you're still cashing in. Like it hurts when it doesn't, pay off the way.
We got to get you an outright there, my friend. Right, you're just coming extraordinarily close. Like honestly, I wanted Nico to beat Hadwin because I bet more on Nico. I was a little pissed off because after paying some bills and beginning of the year and stuff like that, I sort of took down the amount that I put in. Usually I put in like $350 to bet a week, which is like 7 units for me. This past week, I think I put like $220, just because I had a little strap for cash this time of the year. And like I said, I bet what I can afford to lose. That's what everyone should do. Bet what you can afford to lose. And so looking back, it was the right move because that's what I could afford to lose or felt comfortable losing that week. And usually it's fine. It's just a little bit strapped here recently. And I lost like $800 the first week at the Century. So with DFS and Underdog, I didn't even play Underdog until the final round, and I lost on that. I just didn't have enough time. It was such a busy weekend for me. But yeah, fun event. One of my favorites year in and year out. I'm sure the ratings are going to be horrible because it was competing against, NFL football playoffs, but
golf fans were treated off, boy. Like,
yeah, it was, it was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I watched it right until the kickoff for the Redskins game. And
that course, the final few holes are amazing.
It's a lot of fun.
Par 5, the par 3, it's awesome stuff. It's like, and it's, in the off, they still got off pretty early. All things considered, considering they're like 5 hours behind Central Time. We were watching them.
They finished right at kickoff of the Commanders game. Yeah.
Yeah. Kenny, congrats on that as well. Jeez, dude.
So yeah, that shit was crazy. It was definitely a stressful ass day because I was watching fucking Jaeger and Spawn just going ape shit out there with all those saves, and of course me having Taylor and Nico, third and fourth place basically all day, right? And then just that anxiety and pressure of trying to get that outright, because it's nice getting that first outright out of the way of the season, like in Hawaii. It gives you that like good start to the year. Last year I didn't get my first outright until Genesis, which was in February. So hopefully this leads me to have more than the 7 outrights I did last season. I did end up getting 2 each way. So on pace, similar pace for the 41 each ways I had last season. The funny thing is, I don't even know if 41 each ways in a season is good. Like no one really like promotes their each way wins. So, I mean, I think it's good. I have nothing to compare it against because no one's really out there doing too many each way bets out there, and I can't get enough of it. It saved me, it saves weeks for me where I can just make a teeny bit of profit just off one guy, even if the rest shit the bed. Because the rest of my card, Nick Taylor, was garbage, right? I mean, like the rest of my card wasn't that great. Nick Taylor being the one single bright spot on the card.
Yeah. No, he's like this dude that just shows up and does it. Like no form required, just off you go. Like he was playing like dog shit entering the year, but just put him on a golf course that he tends to play well on, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think you can ever really pay attention to Nick Taylor's form coming in.
No.
Like it's sort of like Bubba now, and it was sort of like Homa before, after Bubba, where you play Bubba on Bubba courses, you play Homa on Homa courses.
Yeah,
you play Nick Taylor on Nick Taylor courses, no matter the form, is what it looks like to me. I mean, the guy's won 3 straight seasons in a row. I mean, what is there, like 5 golfers who have done that? If that,
that's
insane. What I'm saying? Like, if that, I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, no one's done it this year, so he's the only one. Pretty remarkable stuff from the Canadian after, being stonewalled from the President's Cup team too. Probably deserved. He wasn't playing
deserving.
Well.
Yeah,
he wasn't
exactly.
But well, but
I would hate to be up against that guy in match play. Jesus, like in a playoff, it is just death city for anyone going up against him. So brutal stuff. When Nico 3. Anyway, moving along quite swiftly. Anything else you want to chat about?
What about the TGL? Pretty good starting week for the TGL. The simulator league, the Tiger started, almost got 1 million views in the first week. You would expect that to go down, but they're smart. They put Tiger and Rory playing the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, the number it's going to be good numbers. I mean, this week on Tuesday, it might even beat last week. With Tiger, I saw seats were more expensive than the fucking Ryder Cup tickets. It was like $850 for a seat to this TGL event with Tiger that's coming up at the SoFi Center down in Florida. So I personally enjoyed it. I thought that for a little bit, I think it got a little bit boring. And the thing about it is the technology is amazing that they do. I mean, the way they put the jacks underneath the greens to give you different undulations on different greens is pretty remarkable stuff. Also, like, I think a couple of things that need to be adjusted of it. I think the first one is they have to be playing for something. There has to be like, I don't know, is there a playoff? Is there a championship? Like,
yeah, there's playoffs.
But I have no idea about any of that stuff. I mean, it should. Even watching the coverage, and after the first 30 minutes, I put it on a second TV with no sound, so it's possible that I missed it. But they need some type of reward. They need some type of goal at the end. They need to be more creative with their holes, with their hole design. Like, why limit yourself to things that you can maybe see on a Sunday afternoon watching the PGA Tour? Like, okay, people were like, oh, they had lava on hole. Ooh, wow. They replaced the water with lava. What such creativity. What I want more there is I want to see stuff that we don't normally see on the PGA Tour. I want to see shot shapes. I want to see golfers have to play an extreme hook. I want to see golfers have hazards, like one hole, a couple of holes that I think would be a fun way to go about it. Have floating hazards. Have a floating hazard in front of maybe about 20 yards above the entire hole, where you cannot hit it above 20 yards in the air. So you have to hit stingers. So you have to go underneath this floating hazard, whatever you want the floating hazard to be, a brick wall, a bunch of trees floating in the air, whatever it needs to be, right? And so you could see guys like, what's one of our most favorite shots to see, like on a windy day or on a Sunday at the Open Championship? It's that low stinger, right? With that crazy low traj that just goes in and gives you that roll. All right. I mean, that's one of our, as golfers who watch the game of golf, That's one of the most impressive shots that we can see on a week in and week out basis, right? So why not do something like that? The next idea for a hole would be a par 4. Okay, this one I've been thinking about for a little bit. With a rock cliff in front of you that is shaped like a triangle. Okay, and you can't go over this cliff, so it's shaped like a triangle, and right in front of you is a 20-foot gap right down the middle, maybe less than 20 feet. I don't know. For me, a 20-foot gap, I would just bounce it off the walls the entire way. But these are pros, so maybe a 20-foot gap is too big. I don't know. But like a 20-foot gap, if you hit it straight through the gap, it's 240 to the green, right? And it's a par 4. All right. Now you could do it that way to be aggressive. And if you do hit the rocks, underneath is all water, so you got to go back to the tee box again if you miss. All right. And then, but there's an alternate way. If you go right. So it's a triangle, so the fairway will be on the right, okay? And so if you aim right, you got to hit it 260 to onto the fairway, and the landing and the landing zone, make it small. With a lot of rough around it or something. You don't want like a hazard there, but like a lot of rough. And then if you go in that direction, you got 220 on your second shot to the pin. So obviously, risk reward at that point. You try and shoot the gap, right? Just shoot the gap. Other ideas that they have, like a par 5, where you're in space, right? I'm like, why limit yourself to anything?
Earth.
Yeah. I mean, like, what's the point? You can literally do anything you want with that CGI when it comes to the TGL. You can do anything you want. Why narrow the scope to stuff that's even remotely similar to what we see? Like, truly make it a video game. I've been saying this from the beginning. Have the Golden Tee guys out there make the course, right? I mean, give risk reward options. Try to shoot the gap through these narrow fairways. Force golfers to hit shots that they don't hit on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Like a snap hook, 40-yard hook, like a Wyndham Clark drive. Right, he'll be perfect for this, right? But make that the only way to get to the green, right? Or something like that. I want to see more shot shapes. I want to see more trajectory, differences. I don't want to see guys going out there and hitting driver iron. Driver, stock iron, like you would normally do on a Thursday through Saturday. I want to see these guys hitting crazy slices. I want to see him hitting low stingers. I want to see these things, right? Another whole, go ahead.
So a quick, easy fix, Kenny, like each person's got the hammer. One, they should make that a foam hammer that you can literally just throw at the person. Like if you're within a certain, like outside a certain distance and you hit him, the hammer's worth more or something. Like, make it foam. Just like, if you're going to lay the hammer, lay the fucking hammer. Then I want each team to have a blow-up doll or a something that they put in the way of the person. Like, you get it once, or each team get, like, it's the hammer, the same principle as the hammer. So that way you have to force the people to hit these weird shapes. You can put this thing anywhere you want, like within a certain area.
I mean, let's not make it a blow of them. How about like an inflatable tree? Okay, like even my
obviously if you inflatable tree.
Even my horny ass knows that shit's not going to work. Not going to fly.
Well, it's for the show.
I like the idea.
Yeah. I was thinking just an inflatable palm tree. Boom. And it's there.
Then you have to go around it.
Go around this thing somehow.
I like that.
Whenever you want to put it down, if you have the palm tree in your possession, you can put it down. Or each team gets 2 or 3 each person gets a palm tree.
I like that. It's something... but I think the first thing that has to happen is they need to open their minds when it comes to this course, to the whole design. Like, if people are going to say, why, that's silly, that's dumb. I mean, this is silly. This is dumb. We're watching guys hit it into a fucking screen. Yeah. Right? Why not? Why? Go ahead.
Yeah. Regardless, if like I was following Joe, I don't know if it's Joe or Joel. Tour picks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. And I was looking at the courses, and they're all just dull. It's like muted, gray, nothing spectacular.
Yeah, right,
It's like It's boring to
We need
look
some
at.
LSD graphics
You
on
need
there.
something like that.
okay.
You
Like
know?
give me like little narrow corridors that you have to hit through with a little bit of shape.
Essentially
Like,
a mini golf course, but in big,
pros.
right? You know?
yeah, but I mean,
the
like,
layout.
there's really no reason to limit yourself here because obviously, okay, if you're the target audience, if they really want to grow the game and you're going to get these YouTube guys and a younger generation to watch, and I bet you if you look at the numbers, I bet you the average age of the viewer was lower than a normal PGA Tour event, right? And what do these guys our age and younger enjoy? Video games, color, right? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
Punishment.
know,
Like, if you get your shit rocked before singles is over, if the match is done, dunk tank. Like, the whole team goes in the dunk tank, and it's going to be dyed in the color of the other team that they're playing because it's important, these colors of these teams. You play the rest of the match drenched in shame in the other team's color or something like that.
Or shoot left-handed too, you know, try something else like that.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it's Tiger. It's still golf. They're still going to try and make it respectable. The easiest way to change this is just the holes. Just make the holes cooler. Make the holes more fun. That's really all you need to do because everything else that they did is amazing. Like the way they roll everything out, the technology that they have, the press, you know, the hype. I mean, like they did everything right.
One or two other things, Kenny. I would love the stat bar to be at the bottom all the time. Make that a fixture. I want to see, because I love the smash factor, the launch angle, the spin, the ball speed. That shit is cool. Now, ball speed, this is perfect. They should have like a NASCAR leaderboard with ball speed that just pops up. Like if someone does something like ball speed wise that gets him inside the top 10, boom, that leaderboard just kind of pops up there. They figure out how to do that, but have a season-long leaderboard for ball speed. Who can have the highest ball speed? You got Wyndham Clark, Rory, Xander, all these big guys, Cameron Young. Like, we need to have these dudes ripping drives for no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? So let's give them bonuses or something for ball speed or something. Like they've got to make this, like, embrace this technology and really get their nerdy stats involved as well.
They did so well on social media, by the way. They
really
really blew it up. I was so impressed.
I mean, everything they did was first class.
Yeah.
Everything they did was first
It's just some
class.
tweaks. Just some tweaks.
Well, I mean, I think they could just keep everything the same. Just fucking make the holes more creative.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't care even if they go to the same format that they're doing now and with the hammer, and that's fine. All the stuff they're doing now is fine. It's just after 30 minutes, I was like, oh, they're just playing like a slightly weirder version of a PGA course that we play all the time. Like, why limit yourself here? Because you're obviously catering to a younger crowd, right?
I think also, Kenny, being the first time, I think they just wanted to see how it was perceived and how it was like taken in by the audience. Now that they know people are into this, then they can make some. Imagine we show up and it's like they do something similar to what you wanted, but they fucked it up.
All the courses are made for this season, so it wouldn't be this season. So,
okay. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it would have to be next season, and that could be a problem because I mean, if Tiger's not playing and Rory's not playing, and it's not the first week, I mean, our number's going to go down. This is not something, and I think it's a little bit too long. It needs to be inside of 2 hours. They don't need an intermission, or if they do, it needs to be like 5 minutes. Or if they do, they need to make it cool with like a band playing or something. You know what I'm saying? Like something you see at like a football game, you know, like a playoff game where they have some famous artist come out and do a set, like something like that. Okay, if that's why your halftime is a little bit long, I mean that's probably a good use because you can get people to just watch that artist and they come in and keep an eye on the golf and they'll stay tuned and maybe they'll like it. That I could understand having a long halftime for, but what they did was just, what do you need a break for from walking 10 steps and hitting a ball every 8 minutes? Or
have someone do trick shots to entertain people too, you know? Like that's a big thing for YouTube kids right now, you know?
Yeah. Trick shots. I mean, yeah, something like that. Like the crazy lady who goes out there at NBA halftime games and rides that high unicycle and bounces fucking plates on her head and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
But let's be honest, the intermission isn't for them to relax. It's for ESPN to just pump ads into our fucking throat, So I don't know why I'm swearing so much on the show. I think it's just post Nico playoff loss there. But I haven't vented at all. So the show was like the first time I've got a child in the house. I was just like seething silent when this happened.
Well, I mean, the best thing is the kid has no idea what the fuck you're saying, so you might as well just fucking go all out at him.
Well, I yell, bro. Like I can like my dog Ernie has like PTSD now anytime I watch golf because he knows shit's gonna get real if stuff doesn't go right, and he's scared of me now when we watch golf. But I don't abuse him. He's just a softie. Phoebe comes and hangs out with me a lot, so.
Don't abuse dogs. You can eat them like Koreans do, but don't abuse them.
Yeah. Don't abuse them.
I will tell you the one time I was in Korea, I was 7 years old. And Koreans definitely do eat dog. They still eat dog. When the Winter Olympics were there a few years ago, they closed all the dog restaurants just for the Olympics. And then once the Olympics ended, dog restaurants open again. So when I was 7 years old, I went to Korea for about 3 months. Went with my grandfather every weekend. Him and his buddies would go hiking up to this mountain, drink some beers, grill some food, man shit, right? And so I'd always go up with my grandfather, with them. I was 7 years old, and they would always be cooking, like grilling the best shit, like fucking delicious. Like, so for 12 weeks straight, I went there, it was crushing, the meat. I thought it was beef. When I was 7 years old, I didn't give a fuck. It was delicious. And so on the flight back home, I was like, man, I'm going to miss those. I was telling my mom, I was like, I'm going to miss those hikes with my grandfather, blah, blah, blah. That food, the grilled meat he cooked every week was so good. And she was like, you know what you were eating, right? And I was like, no, what the fuck was I eating? And I was 7 years old, and I definitely did say, what the fuck was I eating? But that's just how it was back then. And she said, oh, you ate dog. I was like, what do you mean dog? Like, what do you mean dog?
Woof.
Yeah. She's like, you were eating dog. I was like, well, fuck it, dog. It's delicious. Let's go home and cook ours up. I mean, or something like that. It was fucking good. Okay. And so, Korean people, they still fuck a dog. It's good shit. Now, that's my dog eating story. I haven't eaten it since. Okay. But, I would probably never do it again because I love puppies, but it was fucking delicious.
Yeah, I mean, I think out there they treat dogs differently too as well. They're more of like animals than pets. I'm completely just making up random.
Korean weird, like
culture.
Jeju Island, where they played the CJ Cup. It's called Honeymoon Island. Well, you can see the CJ cap that I'm wearing right now. It's called Honeymoon Island. And so, they just got indoor plumbing like 20 years ago. At Jeju Island, maybe 30 years ago. My parents went to Jeju Island for their honeymoon. The big thing at Jeju Island is the pork. They got like these wild pigs that run around, and they're like one of the most prized pork in the world.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, when their name recognition of Jeju Island pigs were coming up, people didn't realize that there was no indoor plumbing. So people would be shitting and pissing in like latrines and shit, and the pigs would come and they would eat all the waste. So that's how they took care of human waste at that island. The pigs would just run wild and eat it all. And then those pigs are supposedly fucking delicious. So Korean people, they do some weird ass shit. But we know our food, and if the pig's got to eat poop to be delicious, it's got to eat poop.
Is there any delicacies in South Africa, Byron?
Bunny chow, but it's not what you think. It's just stew in a loaf of hollowed out bread. That's not sliced up. So you just take a solid piece of bread, take the bread out of it, so you've just got the crust. Throw in lamb stew, get a 2-liter Coke, boom. And it costs like nothing. It's like $5, for all of that stuff in South Africa. So
it's just a bread bowl that we'd get a Panera.
Yes, but it's called bunny chow. Yeah. I'll think of some delicacy stuff. I don't know. It's weird. We don't really have too much of that nonsense going on down there. We're just a plain nation.
All right, so let's. One thing I do want to talk about is our contest. We actually had a winner this week.
Yes.
A Joanne Sleuths, who's won multiple contests, but never puts her name or never puts anywhere how to reach her. I think this is like the second or third time she's hit the winner. That we've been doing.
Contest queen, baby. Woo!
And so supposedly she watches Byron's Bat 9 Bet Show every Tuesday night, 7:00 on Mayo Media Network on the live tab. And so I'm sure Byron will try and reach out to her tomorrow to get that win. But just remember, go to our YouTube page, go to the comments section, write down who you think is going to win and the way to reach you, either your Twitter handle, email, whatever. And if you pick the winner, and if you're the first person to pick the winner, Byron will send you what, Byron?
I'll send you a full month access to my Discord and Patreon, which is got all my tools. It's got all my showdown stuff. It's got my one and done tool. So you'll basically get that for the rest of the year. There's some stuff you can get there for the rest of the year or just for that month. So some fun stuff going on there. It's humming. We're having a good time in the Discord. All my bets that I place in tournament, pre-tournament, all that jazz, it's all going to be there for you. So 1 month, baby, in the Maniac Discord.
We had almost 70 comments on the last video.
Yeah, let's try and get 100.
Amazing.
Not
Amazing.
enough.
Let's go.
Not
Yeah.
enough.
Bring it up more.
Let's try and do 100 because, of course, I don't know if you guys know, that helps our algorithm. It helps spread the pod and reach people it normally wouldn't reach. That's the big thing about commenting on the YouTube. And you know what? Go ahead and comment on Apple. Go ahead and comment on Spotify. Leave us 5 stars. Leave us a like. That shit all helps.
Absolutely, baby. So we got a lot of fun stuff to chat about for the rest of the show. But before we do that, we got to pay some bills.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. I personally like the pick'em games. Pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. Can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Can also make rivals picks, which pits 2 players against each other. Now, the reason I like the pick'em games is because of these things called scorchers. There's these little chili peppers next to the golfers' names, and if you click on that, it adds to your multiplier, so you can win even more money. Sign up today with promo code Mayo and get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Must be 18 or over and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Alrighty, so this week at the Amex, we have 3 different courses, and my wonderful co-host is going to walk you through what you can expect this week.
All right, so the PGA Tour moves to California this week for the old Bob Hope Classic. Back in the day, this used to be the Bob Hope Classic. It's now called the Amex. It's going to be played on 3 different courses, like Byron said, the Jack Nicklaus Tournament course, La Quinta Country Club, and the Stadium course of PGA West. Now, this tournament has been a conventional. All the golfers are going to play each course once the first 3 days. Then there will be a cut on Saturday. The cut rule still is top 65 and ties. The remaining golfers on Sunday will battle it out at the Stadium course to find a victor. Because of this, golfers in your lineups that missed the cut will have less total effect on your DraftKings score than usual. Having as many golfers make it to Sunday is still important, but you can get away with missed cuts and still probably cash. Meaning you could probably be a little bit more aggressive in picking your golfers, especially in like double ups and head to heads and stuff like that in cash games. You could throw in a guy that normally wouldn't be a typical cash type play out there, just because you're going to get 3 rounds from him. This event is a pro-am, so the course and the pin locations won't be set up too difficultly, except on Sunday at the Stadium course. The Pro-Am event ends on Saturday, so they'll probably move the tee boxes back and make the pin locations a bit more challenging for the pros on Sunday. Golfers are going to need patience, 6.5 hour rounds, pretty, normal here. The difference between La Quinta and Nicklaus, very minuscule, is these 2 courses are routinely inside the top 10. Easiest courses on tour, and funny enough, last year, I think La Quinta was 2, Jack Nicklaus was the 3rd easiest, and, Stadium course was the 4th easiest. We've seen the Stadium course be the 20th easiest before. So it's definitely weather dependent, but a lot of the time the weather's nice and there's no wind. the stadium course is pretty easy too. Now it's definitely going to be more difficult than the other two courses, and scoring wise, it's a little bit funny because the par fours are really your birdieable holes at the stadium course. The par fives are pretty tough here. So it's sort of funny because all the par fives on the other two courses are so easy. Now, when it comes to strategy in this place, I would still probably, like, first round leader, if they don't do it by course, I'd probably pick La Quinta, right? A guy who's at La Quinta.
It's not going to happen then.
Yeah. What do you mean? They do
split it up.
Course, right?
Yeah.
They do it by course, right? Yeah. And so still, and the funny thing is,
Showdown.
For Showdown, the funny thing is they usually put the top elite guys at La Quinta on Thursday, so they can play stadium course on Saturday, because the cameras they don't really have cameras for all three courses. The cameras are mostly in the stadium course. So they want the best golfers to play there on Saturday, so they play La Quinta on Thursday. So your elite golfers are going to be playing, an easy course. I wasn't a part of Underdog last year at this event, so I don't know how they're going to score it right now. They only have top 20 placements or top 10 placements up. We're recording this at 6 o'clock on a Monday. Make sure you go to Underdog, use promo code Mayo, get yourself a deposit bonus up to $1,000. But we'll see once they break out more of the stuff either tomorrow or Wednesday. I have enough time this week to probably make a play. So I'll post it on my X feed at KendoVT. All right. Now a couple of tidbits about this. This tournament's known for its holeouts, like a lot of holeouts, like almost like 750 holeouts since 2012. I'm talking about anything that's off the green. I mean, it's a lot. Okay. In the last like 12 years, it's an average of what? 12 10 times, like around like 80 like around 60 a week an event, right? Isn't that right? I mean, 700 holdouts.
That's insane.
Since 2012. I mean, that's 12 years, and they've had 700 holdouts. So divide that, whatever that is. That's how many they average a year. I'm Asian, I have slanting eyes, and I suck at math. So strange. Very, very strange. But 14 of the last 16 winners here have played at least one of the two Hawaiian events prior to their win last year. A little different. What's his name? Dunlop won. But prior to that, it was like 2008, I think, or 2010, since the last time somebody didn't play Hawaii and win this event. 10 of the last 12 winners played this event before. And of course, Dunlop, he bucked that trend last
year. Trendsetter, yeah.
Yeah. And then 9 of the last 13 winners this tournament had a top 15 in one of their last 7 starts. And again, Dunlop broke that trend also, since he was an amateur. Also, like, big time odds, like you're looking at John Rahm and like a couple of other guys in the last 15 years that were under 100 to 1. Like the majority of the winners here have been like big time long shots, like 90, 80 to 1 or way above. I mean, and like form really hasn't mattered here. I think like Adam Long had missed like 5 straight cuts coming in here. Dunlop had missed like 4, I think, but as an amateur before he won here. And I think there was somebody else. Either Landry or somebody else missed 3 or 4 leading up to this event. So when you're looking at your model or your stat model or whatever, like even if their stats are matching up to the eye, and you look at their current form and it's just garbage, more than likely they're going to be triple-digit odds, right? Yeah. So from a betting perspective here, I will go over this in the betting. I'll go over the betting strategy in our betting segment. So let's actually get to the course. Jack Nicklaus tournament course. Let's start there. It's 7,200 plus yards, par 72, 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s, 10 par 4s, all the par 5s reachable. The course has had 59s in qualifying tournaments in the past. Not very difficult. I think it was like I said, the 3rd easiest course on tour last year. Always inside the top 10. Even if there's wind, it's still inside the top 10. The fairways average to large in width, many bunkers, water in play, off the tee on a bunch of holes. The rough is going to be light because it's a pro-am. Greens are going to be, not fast. Like, once again, because it's a pro-am. But they are a little bit undulating, multi-tiered. They are Bermuda grass, but it is dormant Bermuda. More than likely, it's going to be a POA Bermuda blend, and a POA is what really sticks out at this POA Trivialis. Is what's really going to be popping out. I mean, I don't even think you look at Bermuda. Do you look at Bermuda when you play these type of courses where it's like not in season and it's like dormant? Like, I know you've actually had familiarity playing different holes, playing D2 golf or whatever, college golf. Have you ever played dormant greens before?
No, because we were always in the Midwest. But from what I understand, it's just like putting on like a real good bent grass greens, and it's not super grainy. It's just like billiard tables. So
yeah. So even though like on the GSCA it says it's Bermuda grass, I don't think you look at Bermuda grass when you look at putting, right? This week?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Yeah. And so La Quinta, it's going to be the easiest par 72, 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s, 10 par 4s. This place has been, around for years. Again, second easiest course on tour behind Kapalua last year. Fairways tree lined, average at best in width, bunkers, water, local vegetation, and play for wayward drive. Greens are average in size, trouble surrounding them, but not much. Like these two are true birdie fests. Okay. The stadium course at PGA West, a little bit more difficult, of course, compared to the other two, but I wouldn't call it overly difficult. It's been like 10th easiest course, 20th easiest course, 15th easiest course, always inside the top 20. Last year, it was a 4th easiest course behind these two and Kapalua, right? It hosted the Bob Hope Classic. And the funny thing is, it hosted the Bob Hope Classic in 87, and players were so pissed off at how difficult the course was that they basically said, we're never playing this course again. And they took it off rotation, right? And now it has become the 4th easiest course on tour. That has a lot to do with skill. That has a lot to do with equipment, right? So, current players don't have that many problems on this. The par 72 Pete Dye course will be around 7,200 yards. There have been some slight changes this past year, a little bit added length, different tee boxes. I'm not really sure how that's going to affect the way the course plays. I would expect they move these tee boxes in locations where they add a little bit more shot shape, make it a little bit more difficult, right? Because again, one of the easiest courses out there. No, like anyone who runs the course and runs the tournament, they don't want to see guys going out there and shooting 30 under, So my guess is they might, but if it actually does make it harder, I don't know. And I doubt it. We'll see. If you really want to listen to it, I know Andy Lack on his new podcast, he started at ISN Network. He goes pretty in depth into the course changes. I haven't listened yet, but when it comes to course previews and stuff like that, I always trust Andy. So you can go check out that podcast for you guys. Now, the par 5s are, now this is a 4 par 5s, 4 par 3s, 10 par 4s, same. But the par 5s are much longer and more difficult than the other two courses. The par 5s here have been some of the most difficult to reach into on tour. The fairways are average in size and gets narrow near the landing areas. Rough is light, but golfers are going to deal with bunkers, a lot of water. If golfers is wildly altitude and they're able to avoid the water and bunkers, they're going to have to deal with dormant grass, which will be similar to rough, but will be less lush and a bit more patchy. The greens are small with trouble all over the place. They're island greens, 200-yard carries over water on par 3s, very, very deep bunkers. The last 3 holes on the course are tough. The bunkers on 16. I think that's the one where it's that huge bunker to the left of the green where you got to hit it like 20 yards or 20 feet up into the air to get it over the lip. That's going to be the one on 16. They got an island green on 17, just like TPC Sawgrass. They wanted to make this Sawgrass of the West, but it's got to have some wind picking up to really do that. Golfers are going to need to hit their spots and be accurate on their approach shots to really succeed on this course. What are you looking for in golfers this week?
Kenny, it's basically what course they're playing. I think I'm limiting my overall week-long exposure and just exploiting the crap out of round-by-round stuff. Potentially, my betting card is about half full right now, and I've got like 6 guys on there. So I think I'm going to try and whack, if the weather picks up and there's some stadium course action and your guy's not on stadium course and he's a few shots behind, you can potentially live add as we're going along. I think this is the week to kind of do that kind of stuff. Throw everything you know about golf betting out the window apart from the basics, yeah, because it's a complete crapshoot. Like we've said, like how are you going to find this guy that's been in the hundreds of odds all the time they play here? So I think just kind of scattering as many guys as you like early and then leaving some bullets in the chamber for a second
what are you
round.
looking for specifically in golfers, though, from a stat perspective? Anything sticking out to you this week? Are you looking for something specific?
Like, just make as many birdies as you can. We can dominate the par
Birdie
fives.
or better is going to be the most important, stat out there. You want guys who can make the birdie stroke gain approach is always important. There's a lot of par fours between 350 and 400 and 400 and 450. So you can look at, par four efficiency from those ranges. Also, a lot of wedge shots like 125, 100 to 125, a shit ton of those. So you could look at those proximity ranges as well. But really, what it comes down to is if the guy has a hot putter, you could take this event down. So let's get to our kickback golf betting segment. Make sure you go to kickbackgolf.com, use promo code FGD15, get yourself 50% off all of their cool merchandise. They got all these cool jerseys with golfers' names on the back from their alma maters, from the Team USA, all this stuff, baseball jerseys as well, hats, hoodies. They got all the cool stuff out there. Make sure you go to kickbackgolf.com, use promo code FGD15. But let's talk about betting strategy and stuff. I know you went about it for a little bit. For me, what I'm doing this week, I do like your live ad thing, but because you could maybe find some people sleeping, book sleeping when it comes down to like other courses. They're going to be having to deal with the NFL playoffs again, also, right? And the books are at that time, so maybe they're not as super focused on the Amex out here.
The crappier the book, the more they're going to be sleeping.
Yeah, and then, you can look at different courses. Look at guys who are playing the stadium course who are playing well, but they're still 4 or 5 shots back because the other guys are playing the Quinta. The winners are playing the Quinta. The leaders are playing, Jack Nicklaus. And then at the stadium course, they're playing well, but they're still 4 or 5 strokes back. Maybe try and snatch somebody there. Now, from a free tourney betting standpoint, the way I would go about this is I'd pick like a couple of guys that you like with shorter odds, like 66, 50 or 50 to 1 or below, a couple of guys, right? And then just bombard long shots with the rest of your card. Because, if you have a budget like I do, you could bet a guy at 28 to 1, a guy at 33 to 1, and then like 10 golfers at like 100 to 300 to 1. And it would all still fit in my budget for the week, right? Even with the each ways that I'm playing. So I think like when I think you want to spread yourself out and give as many options as possible from a pre-tourney standpoint. And so let me go over my card for this week. The way I'm going to go about it. My first pick is going to be Sam Burns, 28 to 1 with 3 places on Bet365. They have the 3-place option, which gives you a boost on the outright number. 28 to 1. I think with Xander's withdrawal, you're down to 22 to 1 right now. But I think that would be fine. I would still take that bet. Burnsy played pretty well at Kapalua, one of the better birdie makers out there. Has played well in this field, has had top 10s here. He probably should have won this event before. So I do like him at a 28 to 1 with 3 places. Next, it's going to be Harry Hall. I'm not really overthinking this. The guy is coming in with a couple of top 10s. He's number 1 in my model. He's number 1 in my model on just regular courses. He's number 1 in my model on easy courses as well. And of course, this is going to be one of the easiest courses out there. He's had a good showing the first couple of weeks. He won in the fall, 33 to 1 with 8 places. I like Adam Hadwin, 66 to 1 with 8 places. This is sort of like a narrative-driven bet. First off, course history. It's been extremely solid, but watching your boy go out there, win the event, the week before in dramatic fashions, always got to give your countrymen a little bit of a boost. Hadwin has played well here before. I know he's going to be a popular bet. Those are my only guys, 90-1 or less. Why don't you go over a couple of your bets, and I'll go over my long shots afterwards.
Cool. We can roll right into that because I've got the same situation as you, Kenny. I did not go lower than 40-1 with Max Griesemann. This guy's just been floating around the top of the board. By the way, these will all have top fives associated with them, which I forgot to do last week with my Nico bet, so it was even worse. Don't launch your Discord the week of a Nico Echeverria loss in a playoff. Life is not good for you. Anyway, Griesemann, this guy can putt the lights out. 40-1. I mean, this guy's been inside the top 3 or top 4 at least 4 or 5 times in the last 7 starts. So he's just been playing amazing golf. Davis Thompson, he is a different golfer this year. He's, like you've mentioned so many times, Kenny, that tee to green, that ball striking game, amazing. He finished second year to John Rahm, 2 or 3 years ago. So this is a golf 50-1 for Davis Thompson. So you've got that going. I don't know what these numbers have done since Xander WD. So, but the longer the shots, the less they change. It's the short numbers that really change the most. Davis Thompson, he can do this thing, and I like his chances over here. Another John Deere Classic winner, JT Poston, at 70-1. He's played okay around this golf course, and he can make tons and tons of birdies with the putter too. Weird name that I don't typically bet outright, but Kevin Yu, winner of the Sanderson Farms Championship, and routine top 10 frequenter is Kevin Yu. So
R5 machine.
Dude, yeah, he's like insane, and he played nicely last year too. This is where he first showed up. 100-1. You can get an each way on him as well, so that turns him into a 20-1 top 6 for that. And then while we were chatting here, Kenny, I went ahead and added Mackenzie Hughes at 110-1.
Yeah, I like Mac. I like Mac this week a lot. He stayed off my card, but I do like him. I might even add him.
Yeah, 110 to, I thought it was 150-1 this morning. I should have bet that thing, but 110-1 is still fine. It's across all markets. This guy can make putts like crazy too. Another great putter. Won't be surprised if he lands up making 1 million putts and winning this thing after some really bad golf in Hawaii, by the way. I'll make some apologies for the bets I gave out here on the placement side once I get to those.
All right, so my long shots, not Adam Svensson, not the Canadian. I'm going Jesper Svensson. Jesper Svensson this week at 90-1, and all these are going to be with 8 places. A really pretty decent showing last week. He's been pretty good on the Korn Ferry Tour. He played easy courses pretty well last year on that tour. So 90-1. I like him. I'm going with Killer Keith Mitchell, 90-1. I know pounding the ball out there is a strength of his, but he does pretty well on shorter, easier courses. He makes a shit ton of birdies. Once again, I think a win's got to be coming for him at some point this year, right? I mean, just the way he plays, if he just gets a putter, you're shaking your head, you don't agree with me.
Kenny, he's a great golfer. There's one thing I do know is who's not going to win the tour. And it's Keith Mitchell, add him on there, Denny McCarthy, Eric Cole. Never, they won't win while I'm a host on this podcast. I can tell you that now.
I think I might double down on Keith Mitchell because you've been really bad at outrights. So
at hitting there, I know exactly who's not going to win. I think I might as well just bet my guys.
So I think I might double my Keith Mitchell bet. Might double it up this week. I might have to do that. All right, next is going to be Alex Smalley at 100-1. Again, a guy who played well last week has had a couple of top 25s at this course. Justin Lower, 140-1. Again, a guy, I don't know, I just like his game. He just punts it out there. He had that really close call in the fall. I just like him as a golfer. This one's sort of like a sentimental pick. I would like to see him win. And again, this is the type of an event where if you just, if you like something about a person that's triple-digit odds, just bet them, right? Shit, your whole card could be triple-digit odds with 8 places out there. And I think, if you're going 100-1 with everything, you got a $350 limit. You could bet, 15 guys and still be inside your limit and still win. I'm trying to win 26 units minimum, right? Or 27 units minimum. And you could still win that and bet 12 guys. Don't be ashamed of that. Look, people are like, oh, you bet so many people. We're trying to fucking win here, right? We're trying to fucking win. I don't give a fuck about your goddamn fucking betting rules or etiquette or fucking whatever. I'm trying to win a fucking goddamn golf bet, which is hard as fuck already, right?
Yes, it's
hard as fuck already. And now you get shit from people. We're like, oh, you bet 10 guys. You bet 12 guys. Shut the fuck up. Like, who the fuck cares? If you're hitting a winner and making a profit, you're good to fucking go. Like, okay, so as long as I'm staying within my budget, I'll bet 87 guys out there. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, Katie.
Right?
Yes. Preach, baby.
That shit's just fucking dumb. Okay? But bet how much you want. Bet however the fuck you want. Don't let anyone tell you fucking different. Go out there, play your game. Be you, bitches. Be you. Next bet. It's going to be Jacob Bridgman. 180 to 1 with 8 places. The guy's a birdie machine. He just makes a shit ton of birdies. This goes out there, top 10 in the field in birdies last 24 rounds. Okay. Give me 180 to 1. Give me 180 to 1. Patrick Peterson. Right? Is his first name Patrick?
Paul Peterson.
From last week. Dude had a great showing. Top 10 last week. I know Sky Hoke was on him at 750 to 1 last week with each ways.
And he had top 5s, top 10s.
His each way hit was like 1 out of 5. So divide 5 by 750. I don't know what that is. 30 to 1, 300 or something.
130 to 1.
Or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, 130 to 1. Yeah, he hit 130 to 1 each way with Paul Peterson last week at 750 to 1. Sky Hoke out there. He's a great show. Again, another guy who does a show on Mayo Media Network. Go out there, listen to his Euro Tour stuff. The guy's a fucking sharp motherfucker.
So sharp.
But yeah, I got him at 200 to 1. And go out there. He's got some form. Just, that's the way I'm going about this week. All those guys I got, I'm still under my $350 budget. And I'm still going to win $1,400 to $1,500 if any of them hit. So I can still add motherfuckers. And I got 9 dudes on my card.
Let's go, baby.
All right.
Yes.
So don't let people tell you how to fucking bet. Now, there are people who do some stupid ass shit, but be you. If you're fucking stupid, that's cool. There ain't nothing wrong with being stupid. As long as you're having fun out there and doing your shit, if you're being a dumbass, that's fine. As long as you're enjoying yourself, this is gambling. We are not professionals. We are not pros. So give me a fucking break on that. All this shit about, you bet too many people. You can't bet 3 guys under 25 to 1. Fuck all y'all. Fuck all y'all. Who else you betting?
I added Justin Lower with you, Kenny. 140 to 1. Let's go. Love that bet. I've still got 0.45 units to go. If I'm betting 1 unit, I've still got 0.45. Basically got half my bankroll still to rock and roll on some outrights as this week goes along. I do have some placements for you guys. Full disclosure, I gave you the Taylor Penrith minus 160. He finished T46 for a top 40 last week, going bogey, par 5. So brutal break over there. But the rest of the top 40s that I did on my show all came in to save the day. Thank God. So it was JJ Spahn as a top 40, like just winning the tournament for a while. So some fun stuff. Sam Burns, top 10 plus 145. He is a top 10 machine, Kenny. So I will back you there with your guy for a top 10. He's finishing inside the top 10 at a religious rate right now. And this golf course obviously suits his game. He putts amazing. He's in great form. Let's go to him.
It's plus 200 at FanDuel. Just so you know.
FanDuel. Okay, yes. So a fun little nugget on how to do this. It's going to be without ties paid in full. So if you get the plus 200 and he's tied with some people and it gets dead heated, you get hit with you could potentially lose money if there's enough people tied. Whereas the plus 145 is a ties paid in full situation. So my rule of thumb for this is you take the ties paid in full number, you grab the first 2 numbers, so it'll be 14 of this, and you times it by 3. So that gets you to 45. So 45, you add the 45 back onto the original odds, get you to plus 190. I think you could go with the plus 200 if you wanted to, because you're still not getting to the plus 200 by adding that extra little baby calculation on for each ways for paid in full. That's like a rule of thumb. You take the first 2 digits, you times it by 3, and then you add that number back onto the odds. And if it over exceeds the ones that get dead heated, then you keep the ties paid in full. But if it's less, just rewind it, Kenny. You can listen to it. It's a bit complicated, but I'm trying to give you some nerdy shit when it comes to the betting side of things, okay?
I because like nerdy shit. The problem is I am not a nerdy dude. Like, I'm not smart, basically. So basically what happens is, because I'm dumb, I don't understand anything you just said. Because there's too many fucking numbers and words. Like, that's why I fucking hate calculus or algebra.
First 2 digits, like, you times it by 3, you'll get it to the original.
Why? This is math. There should not be numbers. There should not be letters. There should not be words. It's math. Anyways, go ahead.
You can't win them all, Kenny, okay? And like you said, play to your strengths. If you hear numbers and things go south, that's okay. You just bet whatever seems to make your heart happy. But thought I would share a rule of thumb on how to avoid dead heats or each and ties paid in full. Max Griezmann, top 5. If I wasn't betting him to win the tournament with an each way or a top 5, I would be betting him top 5 as well at plus 600. So grab him there at a plus 600 number. Love that for him. Moving on down, and this is my favorite little cheat code for a golfer. Tony Finau was not profitable in the top 5 market, not profitable in the top 10 market, but he is one of the most bang for your buck top 20 numbers out there. So he's plus 105. Tony Finau.
20?
We're at
plus,
top 20.
Plus money? In this field?
In this field, at this tournament, I believe he's almost won this thing. Tony Finau, if you're taking a look at his top
so he's 25, 16th, 40th, 4th, 14th at this. So three top 20s in 5 appearances, or the last 5 appearances.
Here, yes. Here. And then in the last 12 months, he's finished inside the top 20 70% of the time.
It's like printing fucking money.
Yes. The odds imply at plus 105, 49% probability. So, Kenny, there's literally a raw edge of 20% here.
No.
You know what I'm saying? In this field.
I would bet it if I bet placements, and I won't because I don't bet placements. Because here's the thing. Like, he's 100 to 1. Like, he's plus 100. I want to win at least 2 units. So I would have to bet 100. And I only have a $350 budget. So give me the outrights. Give me the bang for the buck. Give me the lotto play.
Can I ask you to add $50 to your budget and just...
No, what I fucking should do is fucking take that DraftKings money for DFS and move that in. I want to know, how many of you guys still... I bet you it's still the majority. I bet you it's still the majority that listen because of DFS. Like, at some point in time, I'm hoping that DFS just goes away. And we can just make this a gambling podcast because I have to play DFS. If I want to talk about this, I'm going to have to put my money where my mouth is, right? And I have good wins. And, last year was pretty decent. But from a gratitude standpoint, from like a richness reward standpoint, like, give me outrights all day, bro. Give me outrights all day. That's the thing. Best, right? Sitting there on Sunday with your 2 guys battling it out. I mean, like, it just brings a whole new level. Like, I would have watched this past Sunday no matter what, because it was just an amazing tournament, amazing drama out there, amazing theater on Sundays at the Sony. But having the 2 guys in it, I was almost as hyped as the Commanders were at that point in time. And what a fucking game. Almost died last night. Almost died. When that fucking ball hit the post, I had no idea where it went. Like, I didn't see it go through the net. And it was just pandemonium for a little bit afterward. What a day. I'm pretty sure I lost a couple of years of my life yesterday.
Hey, you know what? You could have lost them and not seen the Commanders win that game. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Right. So getting back to what we were chatting about here, Kenny, with the placements. and you not having enough money to bet your outrights the way you wanted to, is if you were using placements to subsidize your bankroll, maybe you would have won even more on Nick Taylor because you would have had the
rights like I do. You ain't got to worry about that, dog.
Yeah,
I can understand it with you.
Yeah.
I can understand that. My ass is going.
I am going to
my
get.
ass is going hit.
It's happening.
Plus,
it's happening.
Plus, I got the each ways.
Yes. We are technically tied on the each ways there, by the way.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Even though I did not place it on him, but
but how many highlights
always do. I've got. I think is it. I don't know. Anyway, Tony Finau plus 105, top 20. That'll be the final placement bet. I've got a few more for you guys on my show tomorrow, 7 Eastern, where we go through these kind of logics and kind of figure out how to bet each specific dude, because that's the way you do it.
If you're not watching the Tuesday show that Byron does, you're fucking missing out. Especially if you want because my dumb ass, I can't have the nerding thing going on the whole time, or I would just fucking get higher than I am right now and not pay attention at all. So make sure on Tuesdays you go and you listen to Byron, because he's right. When it comes to these placements, the dude is a monster, right? And honestly, it's a safer way to win money, right? I mean, when it comes down to it, look at the numbers. Tony Finau, 70%, hit rate. If you bet Tony, I don't know, 4 times in the last 2 years, you got nothing. You got nothing. You got zero.
To win. Correct. Absolutely. But if you bet him in the last 12 months to win $100 every time he played for top 20, you would have won $844.
Yeah.
On Tony Finau.
Yeah, just on Tony Finau top 10s. And you're probably getting
top 20s. Top 20s.
And you're probably getting juiced the fuck out most of the time, because he plays in a lot of fields that are where he's the best golfer, at least 2 or 3 a year. Right. So,
but if you bet him to win the same amount for top 10s, you would have lost $170. Isn't that the craziest situation?
This is why you watch Back 9 Bets Tuesday at 7:00 on Mayo Media Network.
Boom, boom, boom. All right, Kenny, let's get into some DFS strategy and tiers for this week's Amex. Where are you going? Top of the board with Alexander Schauffele. Thank God we changed the time a little later, because we would have had a.
So my sources, I've heard rumblings about what actually happened to Xander this week. It definitely involves Scotty Scheffler. I should have the full report next week.
Yes.
So give me a week to make up a fucking crazy story about this, and then we will have the true story of why Xander missed the cut or withdrew this week.
Yeah, and remember, people, we use the Kickback Golf FGD code 15. Code FGD15 for our sources. And Kenny's a little strapped, as we mentioned, he's not betting the place. So that's what funds these sources. So go get Kickback Golf FGD15, 15% off. Kenny, $10,400 Justin Thomas, $10,300 Sung JM. Let's chat about the 9K, 9,500 and up. Tony Finau, Patrick Candy, Sam Burns. What are we doing in the top 5 there?
You would have to think Cantlay's going to be the lowest owned, right?
Lowest owned.
Lowest owned? Of those golfers you just listed, from 9,500 and above. You got to expect, I'm just asking, what do you think?
I would probably say Tony might be the lowest. But
I like Tony a lot. If Tony's going to be the lowest, I'm going to keep with him, because I like Tony a lot. He played decent at, what did he play? Finished top 10 over in Kapalua this a couple of weeks ago. His iron game is solid, one of the best in this field. So I like.
And he make enough putts? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I like Tony. I like Tony in this week. But I would go with the lowest owned out of Cantlay and Tony. Yes. I think that's what I would do. So when you're looking at your, whatever site you go to for ownership projections, Fantasy National, Cups Corner, or whatever. I would probably go. Those two are a toss up, and I think I would go. Lowest owned for that. Sam Burns is my first cash game cornerstone. Pretty easy. We talked about him earlier. Not a surprise that Sammy's going to be my first cash game cornerstone, a guy who makes just a shit ton of birdies. I could also not play Cantlay, have Burns in cash, and play both Sungjae and JT.
JT's only played this event a couple of times, but he's finished top 10, top 7, I think, both times. He's coming off. I think he's going to have a banner year. I think he's going to come back and get a victory this season. It looks like his game is rounding back into form after the little bit of a slump that he had. It's all going to come down to putting for him. And if he can make enough putts, because from tee to green, he's probably still going to be one of the best in this field. Sungjae, of course, is just a birdie machine, especially on easy courses, who crushes par 5s, which is everything you need on this course. I don't know. Who would you pick? Who would you play based just on those two?
I would go with JT. I just don't think, but JT is going to be very popular as well now because he's coming in with the most total strokes gained, yet he's hardly really had a real crack at winning anything for a while. I guess the Zozo. How often is he going to have to find himself in these situations before he gets across the line, though, for JT? But Sungjae is not finding himself there hardly ever. So I'd probably give JT the upside there of the two. And Sungjae I've got ranked 8. So I'll probably take JT instead. But my go-to guy in this range.
I have Sungjae ranked 2nd in my model, and I have JT ranked 6th.
Oh, wow. Interesting. But Sam Burns, number 1 across the board for me. So just give me all of him.
Sam's going to be the highest zone, isn't he?
Probably. But the thing is, it's like,
here's the thing about ownership in this 9K range, especially when it comes to elite golfers. I think that's the easiest time to eat the chalk. I think when it comes to like the top-notch elite, top 20 to 30 golfers in the world, if they're playing in an event, especially that's not a signature event, where they are obviously the class of the field, I think eating that chalk is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot. Now, if it's like Steven Yeager, like 30% Steven Yeager at like, the 3M Classic, right? Or something like that. That's probably time to fade. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying? Like the differences when it comes down to this. Now, again, this is coming from a guy who's not that great at GPPs, like a true, like degenerate GPP head, like probably Cambo would come out here and be like, you play, you just fade Burns no matter what. I don't know. I like I said, I'm not the greatest. Last week was pretty good, but I am not the greatest GPP player. I think everyone like, 3 GPPs ever. And the last one I won on a main slate was 2017. So it's been a while.
Sketty in the 95 and south range. Wyndham Clark, Tom Kim, Max Grease, Siwoo Kim, Cameron Young. We got 2 Kims here. Kenny's Kim of the week. Is it Tom or Siwoo?
It's Siwoo.
SH.
Siwoo in the first 2 rounds had positive strokes in every single major of this past week at Sony. He was positive strokes gained in every single stat except putting. And he was, I think when it comes down to it, he was actually first in strokes gained tee to green, like in the field.
Okay.
And he missed the cut. Right. That's how poorly he putted. Hopefully it was rust. He can come back, do his thing, second week in on a course he's familiar with. I really like Siwoo down here a bunch. I will be using a bunch of them this week. Wore the CJ cap from it. I almost was thinking about wearing the Korean bandana. I might go grab that here once you get your favorite pick. But yeah, I Siwoo's going to be my dude in GPPs this week.
Cool. I'll go with Wyndham Clark and Max Grieseman as my 2 guys.
It's like you did not fuck with that pick. Tell me why I should not be. I'm talking shit about you all day.
Siwoo Kim.
Why don't you talk shit to me on why you should not be playing Siwoo?
Well, Siwoo, if you take a look at his top 5 rate over the last 12 months, Kenny, everyone else here is sitting at like 13% or higher in this range. It's like double digits everywhere in the 9K range. He's finished inside the top 5 once, basically. It's 5% of his starts. It's just not doing it enough. Top 10 rates, 15%. It's like you want to bet Siwoo, you want to bet him like top 40s. Pay him in cash. Get him through to the cut. And that's all he's going to give you.
Man. I'm thinking at $9,100, top 5, top 10 doesn't seem horrible to me. And the thing is, when it comes to golfers, I mean, yeah, you could look at these numbers, right? And he hasn't had that many. But you could look at last week's numbers, and Nick Taylor is playing like fucking dog shit for months, right? And sometimes you just get the right course at the right time. And I feel like this is something that he could do. I think, didn't he win here before? Am I wrong? Or a runner-up?
I believe so.
So, I mean, like, motherfucker played well at this course. He's played well at Pete Dye courses, right?
Did he win it in 2023?
I'm pretty sure he's won this event, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But I know he's won the Players, right? Pete Dye.
That was a Sony 30.
Right?
No, this guy's a baller. He knows what's up.
It's a Pete Dye course. It's a course he's comfortable. He loves these layouts, but, no, don't agree with me. You got to fight back. I feel like yelling at somebody.
I told you I don't like Kenny, I just told you your outright pick isn't going to win. Like Keith Mitchell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
that's why I'm doubling up.
You know what I'm saying? So
I've
given you my fair share of shit. So
I just fuck with you. All right. AK, who you got?
Davis Thompson. I think he's an absolute smash play in this department. I think Eric Cole, as always, is just going to give you that top 10, top 5. Just nice to pair with a nice plate of cheese. He's just the accessory to your other 5 guys is Eric Cole. So he's someone I'll be looking at. And then Harry Hall, Kenny, as a DFS points machine, this guy makes so many goddamn birdies. So those 3 guys in that range are probably where I'll lead.
When it comes to Davis Thompson, this is really a judge of how the PGA DFS has changed here recently. I want to see what his ownership's going to be. Because he hasn't really played that well last 2 events. He's played, and he was supposed to, he was sort of like a pretty popular guy, and he hasn't been the best golfer out there. So we've seen him out there with form, like real recent form, not just fall events that we're looking back on in our stat model. And he hasn't been good. He hasn't been great, right? So this is the 3rd week. He's top 10 probably in everyone's stat model for this week. Do you think he's going to be low owned or middle or high, or what do you think?
I think he's just going to be a normal guy. I think Harry Hall in particular,
like
Griesemann, he'll be less owned than Harry Hall and Griesemann, I think.
You think so? Okay. I think so too. I think Hall might be super popular.
Yeah, and Griesemann.
Yeah. I don't get Griesemann this week. I get it. He's had like some runner-ups, but like his putter has to be hot. Like if any other part of his game is off, like if his putter is off just a little bit, like dude's not going to make the cut.
Yeah, but he's like Cam Smith though, Kenny. The rest of his game so good all the time. This is a batting contest.
I get that. But like you said, putting variances for putting is something you see more than any other stat out there when it comes to it is the putting. Where 1 week he could be horrible, 1 week he could be great. Now, great.
Unless you're one of the best putters in the world, which he is.
Yeah.
Like he legit.
But even a little niggle down. Did I use that word correctly?
Not necessarily, no, but it's
anyways. But anyway, a little bit down, right? I mean, his other numbers are so bad. He's like 140th in his field in the last 24 rounds in approach play.
Doesn't matter when you can make every putt under the sun, Kenny. That's what he does. Do what you do, boo. Do what you do best. Stick to your strengths.
But Harry Hall is the second cash game cornerstone. It's not hard to pick why he would be it. We talked about him during the betting segment. Other guys that you like in this range, you're not going to play Eric Cole?
No, I'm going to play him. He'll be relatively popular, but he's just he'll be one of the chalky guys I'd take on.
Third cash game cornerstone for me is Eric Cole. So basically I'm running chalk fever today, which is not great because this tournament can really fuck up chalk. So a little bit worried, but I mean, like, it's hard to go against what Harry Hall is doing. And I like Cole just at this course. He's done, top 25 here last year, really good week last week. That's one I might have to think about, but he's going to be my third cash game cornerstone. Anybody else? Who else do you like?
It's Harry Hall, Davis Thompson, and Eric Cole. Those are it for me in the 8K range. In the 7s, I'll be going back to my boy Nico, Echeverria, JT Poston. I'll take Adam Hadwin, and give me some Sepp Straka, Kevin Yu in the top here. Billy Horschel, Andrew Novak in the bottom of the 7K range, mixing with some Bud Coley and Patrick Rogers down at the bottom there. And then obviously Mackenzie Hughes. I have got so grossly mispriced in this field.
Yeah, I don't understand his price.
I don't know. I don't know what is going on here. I've got him like 47 spots ahead of the DraftKings
the thing is, proven winner on tour, right?
Yeah.
I mean, surrounded by guys like Sam Stevens and Chan Kim.
Yeah, just finished second at the RSM or top 5 at the RSM not so long ago. It is what it is. We got sevens, Kenny.
Last cash game cornerstone. This is, of course, history play. It's Adam Hadman, $7,700. Again, somebody we talked about in the betting segment. It's pretty easy. Like, my bet's probably going to be my cash game cornerstones as well. So my cash game cornerstones for this week, they're going to start with Sam Burns at $9,800. Next, it's going to be Harry Hall at $8,800, Eric Cole at $8,300, and Hadwin at $77. That's going to be my cash game corners. I like Ben Griffin again. Not sort of knocked the rust off last week. Come in here, on a course where it seems like he should be able to play well. Top 10 in my model approach play, really strong, really good on proximity from 400. Par 4 efficiency from 400 to 450 yards. Like top 3 in this field. Still makes a shit ton of birdies out there, especially on easier courses. So I like him down here. Killer Keith is another guy, like I said, just his birdie making prowess, and it's $7,300 on a course where you want as many birdies as possible. I mean, he's the type of guy that can go out there and finish 39th and be top 25 in total DraftKings score, because he makes a lot of big numbers too. That is something that Keith Mitchell does. But the way he's been able to keep his card on tour is he's been making a shit ton of birdies on top of that. So you got to take the good with the bad with him, but at this price, I'll take that risk. Anybody else in the 7K range for you?
No, I rattle off all my guys. I'm taking a peek at some 6Ks now.
Alex Smalley was a guy who played pretty well last week. Again, a guy who plays par 5s extremely well. I do like him. I mean, the McKenzie Hughes sticks out like a sore thumb at $7,100. I thought I had. Wrong sheet. Okay, so in the 6K range, you got anything out there? I mean, the first one comes to mind is Matty Schmid, but for some reason he goes out there and crushes the stadium course. Like, if he could just figure out how to play the other two easier courses better, he could really do something at this event. But I mean, I guess it's sort of better already having down the hard course before and you can go out there. I like Cam. Of course, we already talked about Justin Lower earlier on the show. Jacob Bridgman is another guy who tends to make a lot of birdies. He's really, really good on short par 4s. Like from 350 to 450, he's like one of the best in the field, especially on easier courses. I like him down here at the 6,700 range. Carson Young, another guy who tends to make a lot of birdies on a lot of easy courses. He seems like a guy that you can get out there. And who you picking on in the 6K range?
I also like Matt McCarty. This is a kind of a venue where you can just make a million putts. I think he's primed and ready to have a bounce back. Victor Perez at $6,900. Max McReady. Charlie Hoffman. He always seems to get his stuff figured out quite nicely in these departments. And then Mateo Manacero, Chandler Phillips, and your boy Jacob Bridgman as well. Henrik Norlander, Kenny, as well, is another interesting name in the sixes. I think he made his he got back onto the PGA Tour by going to Q School and finishing top 5 there after being on the tour. So a little bit of a redemption story for him in that department. And then I'll give off one more. Stephen Fisk as a 6K Corn Ferry Tour rookie on the PGA Tour this year. So those are my guys.
If I got to add one more, I'll go Cage League here at 6,200. If we're going super low, just a guy who's really good on shorter par 4s. Like 350 to 400, 400 to 450. He's very, very strong in that area, especially when, it's a birdie fest. I can go with him at 6,200 as like one of my low price plays.
Awesome stuff. I love it, Kenny. DFS tiers in the books. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. As always, you can catch me
One and
at
done
Model Maniac on X.
How was your
Just
one and
tell one and
done?
done.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
Got
bro.
all sorts of. Don't catch me on the Model Maniac Codex yet. Stay in tune for the one and done situation. Good
I
point.
totally forgot.
Let's think here. So popular. Who's going to be the chalk one and done player? It's going to be Cantley,
Like Sam Burns.
Burns, J. They're not going to. People won't play JT. Yeah,
No, I don't think so either.
man. You know, I'm almost thinking Davis Thompson as my one and done guy. You know, at this, I don't think you're going to be chasing chalk at this event, and I think it gives you the chance to win.
Yeah. Just looking at the board, I'm just going to go with my number one golfer in the field. I'm just going to go Harry Home.
Perfect. Yeah, I love it. Like, it's not mainstream at all. I doubt he'll be ultra popular.
How are you doing after 2 weeks in best ball?
Not necessarily the greatest. I had Jake Knapp withdraw in 17% of my lineups, so I don't know if hopefully he
So
plays
how many
again this
weeks is the first 6 weeks?
7 weeks is the first leg.
Okay.
And by the way,
so we got some
the
time.
Dog Dominator's back up, baby. We've got Best Ball, which starts up again at the Masters. So there's another contest that has 50K. Use code Mayo to get yourself.
We're going to start at Waste Management or the Masters?
That's when the next one begins, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I thought I think there was a predetermined schedule out there, but I think they've figured it out. Like, they're going to change it up to the Masters being the first one, which I've built the tool. I've rebuilt the tool again. If you are a Dog Dominator owner already, it's yours. Like, it's just go and, grab it. It's yours already. If not, go check it out on my Patreon, because you cannot draft Best Ball without that bad boy. And it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I definitely use it. I only drafted 10 teams, but I'm in first in 5 of them and second in 3 of them.
Oh, baby. Let's go.
So, I mean, it's 2 weeks.
Exactly. If you're using this tool, like, I'm expecting every week I'm expecting to be better, because I know that I've got 6 guys playing every single week.
This week hurts. If Nat plays, I'll be all right. If he doesn't, then it's a lot of 5s for me.
Maverick?
No, Nap.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Nap and Maverick McNeely for me as well. Like, just brutal starts. Yeah.
Was Maverick playing?
No, he WD'd.
Oh, he withdrew too. That's right.
Yeah. So I had a lot of him too. It's okay. Whatever. Can't control that shit. So, Kenny, where can people find you? Get us out of here with all the sponsors.
All right, make sure you go to Underdog Fantasy, get yourself a deposit match using promo code Mayo, and the match is up to $1,000. I really said that in some really fucked up way, but it still gets the plan out. You know what to do. Use code Mayo. Get yourself a $1,000 deposit bonus at Underdog. Kickbackgolf.com. Go get your gear over there. Use promo code FGD15. And then also you can find my shit on X. I'll post my full card there. I'll post any live ads. I will post all my Underdog plays. Everything is going to be on X. That's how I'm going to roll for now, because it's just easy and I have no repercussions.
I have no repercussions. That's a great way to end the show. Live your life like Kenny Kim with 0 repercussions, people. We really appreciate you. Don't forget to comment in the comments below for who's going to win this week, so you can get a month in my Discord. Catch you guys later. Kenny, let's win some motherfucking money.
Yeah, let's win some motherfucking money, guys. Hey, yes. Hooray.
No, Kenny, let's sign off properly. Get it going.
Let's win some motherfucking money. TGL Nation.
There we go.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belfort. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up with the words. I done popped the Molly and I think it's be my third. Jordan Belfort.
Beautiful.
Wow, that got out of control at the end there.
Yeah, I'm really fucking high right now.
I know. I just love throwing you like a fastball, like out of nowhere, just to like do something.
Way high. I ate it like in the middle of the pop.
I saw.
It should not be this zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ate it.
I don't know what happened.
You ate it an hour ago.
Yeah.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah. Well, Kenny,
Was the show that long?
It was an hour and a half.
I've been like trying to get us going all the time, and then you just like, fucking la, like you want to just start chatting about the most random shit, which is totally fine.
I'm high as shit. My bad.
Yeah.